Hi, welcome to Roughneck Movies. I'm Captain Jim, and with me always is Paul. We had a comment on YouTube from a chap called Tom to discuss Prometheus, and a few others have also said the same since. So here it is. Here's our thoughts on Prometheus. If you enjoy this, please leave a like, and if you don't, leave a like anyway. It's not exactly going to hurt you. So to remind us of Prometheus, Paul, do you think you can give us a speedy summary?
Paul's speedy summary. Okay, I can do this. Okay, so Prometheus, we all know it opens beautifully. It opens with this amazing scene with an albino gym bro who drinks strange goo and then falls to pieces and then falls into the sea. Okay, brilliant. Okay, I want to see more of this film. Where's this going to go? And then suddenly we jump to Scotland, where you've got two people who are in a cave and they find a cave painting and they decide it's a map and it must be a map to exactly where they need to go. And why do they believe that? Because they believe that. And that's enough for anybody to spend hundreds of millions getting them there.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah, exactly. So they've got this crazy star map, and then they go to a meeting with a really old man who actually looks like Guy Pearce dressed in a Halloween costume. As this creepy old withered ball bag of a man. Anyway, they all go, yeah, this will be great. I, definitely signed up to this. I'm in. And then you think, okay, who are these people? Oh, they're really smart. We've got a geologist and we've got a zoologist and we've got audiologists. So they go off all the way to the other side of the galaxy. And then you realise, no, they're all idiots. So you've got one guy who's got tech that maps the inside of this strange cave that they land on, and he gets lost. You've got another guy who claims to be brilliant with anything biological. He tries to tickle a cobra under the chin. You've got another chap who's like, oh yeah, thanks for handing me a drink and dipping your finger in it. Still gonna drink that, even though we're on a strange environment. And talking of the strange environment, they take their helmets off. Just in the middle of it go, yeah, it smells clean to me. Cool, everybody take your helmets off. And you're not going to die from some unseen pathogen because we're scientists and we know what we're talking about. And then later on, they find this big cavern and they go in and they discover they can turn it on by whistling into a recorder like you're from some GCSE music session. And then eventually they meet one of the aliens, but not the alien we know, but it's the engineer. And they're like, oh my goodness, isn't that great? David, talk to it. And you don't know what David says.
I'll do the fingering.
But clearly he says something that annoys them all. So the first thing the alien does, he doesn't interact with them. He doesn't sort of try sign language. He just pulls David's head off. Then he tries to kill all the others, and then he's chasing Noomi Rapace. You're like, okay, well that really dialed up to 11 right there. What the hell's going on? And then they get into a bit of a fight after the crazy albino gym bro gets distracted by some hologram, and then he gets face hugged by Cthulhu. And then, just for the last little bit of fan service, we get a kind of alien. Woohoo! It's an alien movie. Well, it's a deacon, right?
Yeah, that's right, alien. Man. They call it the deacon, but they don't actually say that in the movie. You got to read the behind the scenes, man.
Damn right. But see, this movie could have been good. It could have been good. And actually, if you take it as a standalone movie, it's not horrendous. But it's because it was built up for me as an alien movie and you're gonna get answers. I didn't think I wanted answers to anything. You watch Alien as a standalone, you're not saying, oh, I really wonder where this came from. And actually, I wonder about the mythology. You're not. You're just there for the intense craziness of that film. But this film promised answers. Didn't give you any, and for that reason, it's one of the worst movies of all time.
That was a great summary, bro. So, which bits did you hate? Because it was originally written by John Spates, who wrote a solid script, but he had no previous movie credits. So the studio called in Damon Lindelof. He at that point had done a few films and a lot of good television. He was the guy who co-created Lost with J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, I just think of Damon Lindelof when I think of Lost, because I am so disappointed. So, the name Lindelof is synonymous for me with disappointment.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when you open a Kinder Egg and you get the same toy twice, just so disappointed. I'm just gonna walk into traffic now. This is the worst day ever. So anyway, he came in for Lost. He said he had it all planned out from the start, and fans, rest assured, It will all make sense. It'll all be great. And you find out at the end, it was just a plug. It's a plug. You pull it out, the world ends. You put it back in, you save the world. Someone's got to protect the plug. And Fox hired that knobhead to edit the script. He decided to make it into multiple films, maybe 3 or 4, and he removed some of the key story elements so that they could be explained in later movies. But if you look over leaked original script, some of these loose plot points can actually be explained. So there was a plan in the script to have Jesus be one of the engineers, or a man who was taken by the engineers, taught to be forward-thinking, schooled on peace and a better way of life, and warned that if they don't change their greedy, selfish, and destructive ways, then the engineers will come back and wipe them out. Essentially, the rapture from the Bible. And this answers Shaw's question as to why the engineers want to wipe out mankind. It's because we killed Jesus. And when they carbon date the dead engineers that were planning to attack us, they mentioned that they died 2,000 years ago, which lines up with the death of Christ.
I quite like that. I think that's pretty cool.
So the engineers' faces are meant to be godlike. They've got the large nose, that strong brow, sort of like the Statue of David and the Statue of Liberty. What do you think of their design?
I like the idea of actually, an engineer nipped down to check them all out and see what the hell was going on. And he was like, they're going to spot me. Some big 8-foot albino Jim bro. They're going to spot me. I'm going to go in a wig. They'll never spot that. And then you just got Mike.
What, like a big curly wig or a mullet wig?
I think it's sort of in between, isn't it, David? And then Michelangelo. So some Ninja Turtle walks up to this giant engineer. Is like, hey, I'd like to sculpt you. Like, yeah, sculpt me like one of your French girls. and then that's how we got the Statue of David.
That's a
fun fact.
True story. So if you're doing GCSEs or anything, that's exactly how it went down.
Yep.
So another cool part from the script that was removed was the explanation of Eden. And when we finally see it, it would be very bland, be grayscale in colour. And this is because they are so advanced that their music and their art actually exists in a multi-dimensional state that we can't yet perceive. And I think that's a great idea because that is based on real theoretical science that exists today.
So they all their culture and everything is on a different plane that we can't see, but they can. Is that what you're saying?
It's like having stuff on the cloud. Anyway, you're clearly still not a fan. Have you got some fun facts for me, Paul?
I do. Do you have a jingle for me to lead me into this?
This part of the show is called Paul's Fun Facts that he just wrote down 10 minutes ago before recording the show whilst he was taking a poo.
Prometheus poo facts. First Prometheus fact. Ridley Scott. Did you know what he was originally assigned to do before he made the original Alien movie?
He was a cleaner.
No, he was a designer for Doctor Who, and he was tasked with designing the Daleks.
No way, he designed the Daleks?
No, he was assigned to, and then he was busy, so he didn't. But he was meant to. Back to fact 2. You said Damon Lindelof came in and ruined this script, and I wholeheartedly agree. But do you know how long he spent messing this thing up?
he probably destroyed it in a day. I'll say 1 day.
It feels like he just walked in and destroyed it in an afternoon. He spent 8 months butchering this thing. Anyway, fact number 3. You know Guy Pearce's terrible makeup?
Scrotum face.
That we talked about at the start. Yeah, ball bag face. Do you know it took 5 hours to apply?
Well, you've got to stretch that scrotum right over his face like a veiny bat wing.
See, I thought it was just really poor CGI. Final fact for you, and actually I genuinely find this one quite interesting. So the producers on this film, it was 2 chaps, Walter Hill and David Giller, or Giller. And this was the first time that they'd worked with Ridley Scott together in 30 years. And the last time they'd all worked together was on the original Alien movie.
No way.
So you can imagine, actually, if you're an investor, you're like, oh, that sounds great. You're actually bringing back the original team. And here's a bonus fun fact for you.
Ooh.
I'm not sure if you noticed the names there, but it's Walter Hill and David Giller. So the android in Prometheus is David. And the new android in Covenant is Walter.
Very cool. Fun
named after
facts.
the producers.
So basically we've decided that it wasn't a great film. Even if they stuck to the original script, it still probably wouldn't be great. I know you absolutely hate this film. So, any closing thoughts, Paul?
No, just this has been Roughneck Movies.
Roughneck Movies.
Booyah!
Yeah.